All right, let's get something straight. We're not just talking about expensive watches here. We're diving into something much deeper. These are machines, they don't just tick-tock. They carry stories, they hold actual history, and they represent the absolute pinnacle of what human hands and, our minds can actually create. So picture this. What if I told you that a watch, one that was literally considered ugly by buyers, a watch that dealers practically laughed at for its weird design, what if I told you that same watch later sold for over $17 million? Yeah, it's a true story and it is absolutely wild. And how about this one? A pocket watch made for a queen. A project so incredibly complex, so ambitious that it took 44 years to build. And the crazy part, the queen never even got to see it. She was long gone by the time it was finished. See, these aren't just random facts. This is where the real stories begin. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? These things are so much more than just gears and gold. I love this phrase for them. They're frozen moments of human obsession. That's what you get when money is no object and, compromise just isn't on the table. Okay, so first up, let's dive into some watches where the value isn't just about the mechanics. It's about the legends they carry. For these pieces, you could say the story, well, that's the most precious feature of all. Let's start with the Patek Philippe 1527. Now, this watch was made back in the 1940s, and this rose gold beauty is pretty much the definition of understated brilliance. It's not flashy, it doesn't scream, "Look at me," it's just, well, it's perfect. The whole design is so balanced, so refined. You've got these gemstones embedded in it that just catch the light with this quiet confidence. But here's the thing, its real power is its legacy. This one watch became the blueprint for some of Patek's most iconic models down the line. That's why collectors go crazy for it, not just for what it is, but for what it means to the entire history of watchmaking. Okay, so from that quiet confidence, let's shift gears to an absolute legend, the Paul Newman Daytona. Now, this is a watch that proves how a personal story can turn something into an icon. It was actually a gift from his wife, Joanne Woodward, and he pretty much never took it off. And the irony here is just incredible. Its most famous feature, right? That cream and black exotic dial. It was originally seen as a mistake, a flaw. Buyers didn't want it. Dealers literally had to discount them just to get them sold. It was the watch that nobody wanted. Until Paul Newman came along and changed absolutely everything. His personal watch, the one he wore all the time, it sold at auction for over $17.7 million. At the time, that was a world record for a wristwatch. See, he didn't just wear a watch, he completely transformed it. He took a flaw and made it an icon and basically showed the whole world what it had been missing all along. All right, so we've seen quiet confidence. Now let's do a complete 180. We're going to look at watches that are all about pure, unfiltered declarations of success. Forget subtlety. This is all about the spectacle. Think about it. The Daytona's value is built up over decades, all because of its story. The watches we're about to see, they declare their value instantly and unapologetically. It's all about sheer audacity. First up is the Jacob & Company Billionaire. I mean, with a name like that, this watch doesn't ask for your attention, it demands it. It's made from white gold and is just covered in hundreds of massive emerald-cut diamonds. And the dial is skeletonized, which means you can see right through it. Every single gear and spring just dancing inside. It's like engineering wearing a suit of diamond armor. But what if a watch was less about telling time and more a piece of theater? Well, that's where the Chopard 211 comes in. It's decked out with hundreds of colorful gemstones, making it look like a living kaleidoscope. This watch basically makes the argument that sometimes more really is more. And the real magic is in its secret. You press this little hidden spring, and suddenly 3 enormous, totally flawless, heart-shaped diamonds unfold, just like the petals of a flower. And right underneath, that's where you find the tiny watch face. It's just pure, joyful spectacle. Okay, so we've seen visible excess. Now let's move to a totally different kind of extreme. This is about the invisible genius of pure mechanical mastery. We're talking about pushing the absolute limits of complexity and, on the other hand, miniaturization. And remember, this was all happening long before anyone had even heard of a computer. So let's meet the heavyweight champion of complexity, the Henry Graves Super Complication. What a name, right? It was finished way back in 1933, and it's pretty much considered the most complicated mechanical watch ever made entirely by hand. It has 24 different functions, or complications, including a celestial chart that perfectly maps the night sky exactly as its owner would see it from his home in Manhattan. Just incredible. Just try to wrap your head around the human effort involved here. It took Patek Philippe's master craftsman 16 years to design and build this one single pocket watch. And its value? It's just gone up and up, selling for a staggering $24 million back in 2014. I mean, let's be honest, no smartwatch is ever going to come close to the level of human achievement that's locked inside this thing. Okay, so from the most complicated, let's jump to the other end of the spectrum, the unbelievably small. This next watch is proof that, you know what? Greatness doesn't have a minimum size requirement. Right at the heart of this diamond bracelet is the Caliber 101. It's one of the tiniest mechanical movements ever built. Seriously, the whole thing fits inside a case that's smaller than the tip of your finger, and yet it keeps perfect time. A version of this watch was even gifted to Queen Elizabeth II for her Diamond Jubilee. That tells you everything about its royal elegance and its sheer micro-mechanical genius. And that brings us to our final piece. This is a watch that carries, I think, more history, more tragedy, and just more emotional weight than maybe any other. It's a story that spans centuries, connecting a legendary queen to our world today. The Breguet Marie Antoinette is, well, it's not just a watch. The best way to describe it is as a love letter that outlived every single person involved in writing it. And man, does it have a story to tell. So, it was commissioned for Queen Marie Antoinette way back in 1783. The goal was to make the most spectacular watch ever imagined. But the ambition was just so huge that it took 44 years to actually finish it. And by then, the queen was long, long gone. This watch then passed through history. It was stolen from a museum in 1983. It vanished for decades and was only found again in 2007. It is a true survivor. So at the end of the day, whether it's because of a legendary owner, a completely audacious design, or a mind-blowing mechanical soul, these incredible watches do so much more than just tick. They're like vessels, you know? They hold these moments of obsession, of genius, tragedy, and even love. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. We think of ourselves as the owners of these things, right? But the truth is, they're going to outlive every single one of us. It really makes you wonder, if a watch outlives its owner by centuries, who's the real keeper of time?